Yeah, I think maybe. Let's see. Yes, I'm live finally. This is working. So, as you can see, I have some sort of bling uh, on my head. I also have some shine because I shaved my head, but I also have some bling. So, why did I did this live? Because why not? I've missed you guys because I was on vacation and I'm testing a lot of stuff, the maximum of stuff that I can before the 11.11, so I can make a mashup of all the things that I uh, can test really before the 11.11, so I can really give honest opinions on most of the stuff that I've got and I need to run through. So I will focus on the things that I think I have more potential. But firstly, I want to thank all the members of the channel. We are 11 now. So Zach Alfin, that is with us almost 1 year. Thank you very much for the belief that you have on me. Carl Killer, Alex, Nikolai Yanev, Nikola Bozej, LSE Outdoors, that is putting out some videos, Roko Yoko, JJ35, Daniel Liu, V Bogdan, and the last one, Ron the Dawn. So thank you everybody. You are helping supporting the bills for like CapCut Premium that I used to edit the videos. So thank you very much. So today we are covering a lot of new stuff. As you can see in here, some things that are appearing and I will just cover them on a moment. I saw a lot of new stuff while I was on vacation, but man, look at this cap. The camera will unfocus, but it's basically the nuclear option, and it has the explosion, the Tanta, and it says no fish left behind because it's, I would not say my favorite, but a soft plastic, but it's the most little one that I have. Little and little. I know that pronunciation could be better, but starting with Mavllos, I think most brands on AliExpress will start to ramp up everything that they got to release right now. So I know that Mifine is releasing more rods than the ones that they've put out, and some that they put out and disappear, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So starting with Mavllos, and remember, feel free to ask any questions if you have them on the chat. Starting with Mavllos, they released a real named Venom, and by release they resell other good stuff that they find in China as usual by Mavllos. This is the Venomancer. It's the previous Venom was all black, I think. This one, it looks okay. It says it has 8+1 ball bearings. It's, if you see in here, X sharks, so it's like fishing fans, that sort of stuff, that sort of vibe. It looks okay. 5.2 to 1 gear ratio, 168 grams, so under 170. Not that bad. The sizes vary a lot, so from 1500 to 2500 you get a little bit more depth on the spool, and on the 3000 you get a little bit even more depth on the spool. So, but I think the body it's probably the same, so I don't know. I like the looks of it, but and it's probably smoother. I would love to have like a better in-depth of the internals, like if it's a double slider, that sort of stuff, because it's a carbon frame, but at this point in time everyone has a carbon frame precision interior. 8+1 stainless steel bearings. So the bearings in here, I've seen them starting to appear on more cheap reels, and they work, which is quite nice. I have one reel by Signite, and I'm really intrigued to use it, especially on saltwater, because it's a big reel. It's like a, it's not the same. It's like a Shimano sort of thing. But if you know the Daiwa Emeralds, I'm not familiar with the Shimano version. But if you know the Emeralds, they have a version, or I think someone sells custom versions of the Emeralds just for squid fishing. It's sort of that type of reel, and the reel has a lot of cool features. So Rokoyoko says, hi Rokoyo, enjoying passion fruit sparkling water. Moving on to the new stuff. This is the Mavllos, or in this case you can see in here Lemoren, Moxiao. So if you've seen the picture of me with so I would call it big bass for what we have. It was called with this sort of rod, the Lemoren Magic Shadow L. The rod is pretty good. I have the Queen Artist to test, but holding them both on the hand, I feel very stupid for paying 130 or 120 euros for the Queen. The mesh that you see in here, it's quite comfortable, even though this is different model, is a little bit heavier. But look, 59 grams on the spinning version, 65 on the casting, 2 to 12 grams, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 1 guides, 1.5 millimeter on top. The rod, it's quite fast. I've caught that bass from a ledge. I will post the video for the members because I just go there to test stuff because I cannot use the footage. I already explained this 1 million times. Portuguese poachers are dumbasses, but the rod is pretty good. This one a bit pricier, but you have a lot more models to choose from. But what I was talking, the ergonomics of this, I will say that I prefer this mesh. Purifier Phoenix, Mavllos and Mifine the best for price. Kuyong overpriced for no reason. Kuyong have good rods. I would say Kuyong has the Teton, which is the same price as this one, which for some applications like in Europe, where we can fish for both predators and like silverfish, like chub, I would argument that Kuyong Teton is like a great rod for chub. They have softer mouths, maybe some types of trout. So if you're doing area trout, the Kuyong Teton will be better. If you're fishing in Asia and you also using BFS or ultralight for silverfish that have softer mouths, Kuyong Teton has its place. The Artist, I think it's like a more refined version of the function that the Teton has. So if I'm fishing for chub, I would say the Artist is better. If I'm fishing for predators with harder mouths where you need to set the hook a little bit better, I would say the Lemoren sold by Mavllos, the Magic Shadow, it's better. Kaiser Ferdinand, have you ever tried that Surinai Dragon Rod out of AliExpress Rod? It seems to be the most popular choice. I believe it's good. I have not yet tested. I try to stay away from things that are overly tested unless they are so cheap that I'm going like I did with I think the Handing Magic L. It was so cheap that I've bought it, and the Delicacy, but it was right on the beginning of the channel. I just wanted things that I know would work because I saw other people reviews. Now I'm focusing more on going where the others don't go. I think Andrew Knotts posted a review of the spinning version of the Kuyong Artist, but I'm not seeing him saying anything bad about Kuyong. Again, Kuyong has its place. The longer rods, like the Super Lit, it's an extremely good rod and it's worth the money because it's such a long rod. Even Mifine, if they ever sell wish these companies would offer one-piece rods, as I feel the whole connection dampens sensitivity. I'm European. I live in an apartment. You can see my table over there with a very flowery towel. We don't have the space for one-piece rods, especially because most of us will fish with like 210, 220, 230 meter rods. I'm not talking about myself because I mostly fish from 180. I actually 168 to 220. And in shipping, every time you go with a rod box that is over, I think from what Mifine and Mavllos tell me, if you go over like 1 meter or 110 or something like that, the price of shipping just skyrockets. That's why I say Kuing has its place on longer rods. Like Angetsu, Super Lit are very good rods, very affordable, even costing 100 euros just because of the size. But again, this Mavlos or Lemoran, whatever you want to call it, it's a fine rod. I quite like it, especially for predators. I think guys that fish for perch will have a field day with this. Ergonomics are pretty good. The feeling top. When I was fishing with this on my last session, okay, this is the Lemoran demo. So it's a bit different, but the type of rod is the same. The type of ergonomics is the same as the Magic Shadows. So many similar names. So the Lemoran Magic Shadows sold by Mavlos. It's pretty good. Guys that fish for perch will have a blast with it. Still, with Mavlos, this I think is the one that I have. It's this one, Magic Shadow L. So this is actually the same model, so a little bit lighter, 2 to 10 instead of 2 to 12. Phenomenal rod. I quite like it. For predator fishing, pretty solid. It didn't have any problem fighting with that 40 centimeter bass, and it gave quite a fight. Even though I will post the video, I don't have footage of the whole fight, but it had a lot of splashing and a lot of jumps. But me, on my dumb brain, I just swapped my batteries and I forgot to turn the camera on, and I was fishing. I had my parents there with my son, and man, my mom just told me, "Are you recording?" And I said yes, and I looked to the camera and I was not, so I just turned on the camera while I was coasting the bass because I was fishing for sunfish. I was trying to catch sunfish for my kid to look at them because he really likes bluegill. And I had to throw the net to my father, and I had to push the line because I was fishing on the ledge. It was just an eventful evening. It's not that many times that I have the opportunity to fish on the afternoon. But this rod, it's amazing. If you have the opportunity to get one for fishing for any type of predators, it's spot on. And I was fishing top water, I was fishing bottom, I was fishing on the middle of grass, and it was... I also was using the Seasir 0 VX 119 because I quite like the original version, and I have to say that they cast the combo casts very well. I was using the whole time 2 grams weights on it, and I even throw at some point on other spot, but I didn't catch anything. I was testing other stuff. I just put the combo together, and I was able to even throw wacky rigs. So pretty awesome. The shallow spool, the ceramic hybrid bearings really make the difference. on the Seasir Zero VX. So, and that's what I've been doing, trying to test the most of stuff that I can for prepare the 1111 sale video. Still with Mavllos, we have the Mavllos ST, and I was talking with a guy from Mavllos, and they have Resolute baitcaster on the way that will have both shallow and deep spool. I'm waiting for him to say anything to test it, because I quite like as an entry level kit the Resolute, not because it's the best rod and the spinning reel they are the best. They are just affordable and they are hard to break. Rokoyoko, cannot wait for the 1111 sale. Yep, me too. I don't have a lot of things that I want to buy. I'm trying to control myself because I have so much things to test. I will try to control myself. I can even tell you what I'm thinking of to buy. I will probably buy two things if nothing comes new from Mifine, and I will buy one thing from Purelure, unless something crazy appears in the meantime. And by crazy I mean anything by Takuma. At this point I think I have most of the stuff. So I was telling about Mifine, and this is it. Don't look at the price. I think this is just some weird thing. This is the Mifine microbite, and I told once and I will tell you every time, if I ever just stopped doing reviews of gear and I just did, I would say, reviews of lures, or did tutorial videos, or just did fishing blogs, or go with my mad idea of doing reviews of Portugal as a fishing destination, I would just buy a bunch of different size Mifines, casting, spinning, and now you can get it with the tubular tip. So, and 2.3 meters. Let's check the specs. So this is wrong, because this should be 920 230, but basically this is a spinning rod, 230 meters, 8+1 guides, 2 to 10 grams, top diameter 1.4, because this is, remember, a hollow tip, butt diameter 8.5, 80 grams. So 230, it's creeping there on the justification that I've give you to buy the Spirit Fox from Tsurunoya, the Tsurunoya Elf, and the Kuying Superlit. If Mifine decide to get on the 240, 250 centimeter range, and they can keep the price under 80 euros, and they offer this on, I would say they will not offer this on casting, but if they can pull it off, other than some specific cases, you can really fish with just this range of rods with microbite. They are probably the best blanks on this price point. Better quality components at this price point, better balanced rods at this price point. They are just very, very, very good. I know that they have 190 centimeters and 210 centimeters. I had them on my cart, and they just vanished. So I don't know. They have been made. They cost I think 50 something, 60 euros. So the usual price when Mifine launches stuff before they arrive on local warehouses. I really want to test this one, but not at 136 euros. So let's wait for the prices to come out, probably for 11.11. Mifine will also release a super ultralight rod with full grip, like the the type of carbon full grips, that sort of stuff, on sort of similar blank to the nano jig. So I will be also waiting for that. But moving on, because Mifine only has this, at least for now, I expect the rod that I'm talking, orange and black, super ultralight rod, to drop, I would say, before the end of the month, right before 11/11. And I think they will be also dropping, yeah, monocoque, that's the word I'm using, but it's not that monocoque that it's on a weird shape, is just like a tube. I think the Seasir Black Arrow has it. That sort of stuff. I quite like it for super ultralight. It doesn't weigh anything. It's better ergonomics on your hand. So I like it. But either way, Mifine will have some things to come out before. Thank you, Higino. Good night for you also. I think it's basically, I don't think they will release anything other than that, especially for super ultralight. But moving on, Booms has released measuring mat, PVC. You know the drill. So you have this point over here to measure. You can also measure the girth, as I see. This is a little bit different than the usual one. So this is the bump where you put the nose of the fish and then you can measure it. But in here, as you can see, you have also something to measure the girth, or on my case, to measure the fish that I've catch mostly, so the small ones. Yeah, pretty good. Unfortunately, I think this is just centimeters. So you have measure big catches. I don't have that. Biggest fish I've caught this year, it's I think 157 centimeters. So, and you can also buy it on a bundle. 36, let's call it 36 euros. These grips are good. You usually don't see me with grips, but I might use them if I'm going for pike on the winter, for sander and for sea bass. I also have this scale. If for some reason I catch something big and I want to weigh it. This scale is actually pretty awesome. So it's USB-C charged. So you don't have to put batteries. Everything gets well covered. The ergonomics are quite good. This goes inside on the back side of the scale. So everything pretty good. If you want to measure or weigh this in here, in here you can see better the bumper board, and you have some Velcro to just roll it very well. But as you can see, they even put the official Ricardo review scale in here, so it will only go to 19 centimeters, which is actually quite a lie. Let me show you something. And I have like 3 sessions to put in here. So this is the logging for this year. Sorry, I got a little bit dark. So I've caught almost 90 meters of fish, 410 fish caught, 68 sessions. Average number of fish caught by 4 sessions are 6, and the average size it's 21.8. So a bit of a lie. I've catch more fish bigger than 19 centimeters. Moving on, Seasir. I think I've talked about other Seasir DC bait casters. I forgot this one. So basically another DC bait caster, and I have a warning for you. So you saw my Luxafi crap. I will not call it crap. It costs 30 something euros, and the brakes actually work. The weird part is that the DC brakes work. Could you go over the different Mifine microbite aging models for casting and lure recommendations? You are talking about the spinning or the casting versions? Basically, I break it down on under 180 centimeters on the microbite, you should use it for anything under 5 grams. I would call it so I would call it super ultralight applications. I would not throw any crankbait over 2.5 grams on it. If you are thinking of throwing things over 2.5 grams, just get 190 and up. My lure recommendations for the microbite, basically, I would not touch that much on hard body baits because it's an aging rod, and I will just go with chabs, EWG hooks or exposed chab hooks, and soft plastics, tantas, worms, pindings. I don't know if you. It's sort of like a shed, but on the end, instead of having the fork, it will have a ball. Let me try to. There's actually a good way to find aging lures on the AliExpress. You just put spin puller, and they have a huge assortment of aging presentations. So you can put a spin puller. It's this one. So if you want to fish on saltwater, I would go with this sort of stuff. For smaller fish, I would go with casting. It's exactly the same thing. The difference with casting is I would not bother with the smaller rods, because it will be quite frustrating to find a reel that will cast under 2 grams constantly, effortlessly. So I would go with the 190 and up rods. Then you have to decide what size do you want. If they want to make the hollow tip version in casting, that I don't know, I would go with that for saltwater fishing. If you are doing both, so saltwater and freshwater, I would go with this sort of lures. Saltwater, this one is a killer. Even on freshwater, I will go with the pinks. They can get trout, they can get, I caught barbel with it. You can get a lot of things. So they have a lot of stuff. So this slug type of worm. You also have the sheds. Most of them are made on TPE. So if you see this box, it's a TPE plastic or TPR. They float. Hello, will you try a Japan domestic market PFS reels? So, Blazej Kozier. There's one thing that I hate, and what I hate the most, it's dealing with customs. Because if there's anything wrong with the files from Japan, I have to pay VAT on everything, and I have to pay huge amounts of shipping. I try to do that with major craft rods. I try to do that when I've bought my Daiwa baitcasters. I try to do that to buy a Daiwa Tatula BFS. It's a lot more hassle than it's easier to buy from Alibaba, and they don't even bother to get the files correctly. And Alibaba, you don't pay VAT because that's like peer-to-peer and business-to-business sales. So you don't pay the VAT. If you are an end customer, you have to pay the VAT. And it's too much hassle. I might try in the future, but that's why I prefer to deal with AliExpress. It's just easier. I think other than most of European countries, you will have no problems with customs under 150 euros that I always keep up with. maybe I have some guys from Brazil seeing my videos. They have to deal with customs and they know the hassle that it is. Because in Portugal, I have to submit invoices, payments, a bank, screenshots of me paying. So it's a real hassle. If I find a reel that I really wanted, and again, they tend to be quite expensive. So what I've paid for, I don't know, some Purelure reel that is, I think the most expensive that I've paid was 130 something euros for the Miek. I would pay that minimum for any good BFS reel from Japan. But I quite like it because then you have the opportunity and availability of parts to to tune them, like I did with my Tatula 80. So Rokoyoko, I think it's from Brazil. Yeah, he knows. Actually, here it's simple. You're good confiscating, and you have to pay 100% of the value to the government. In here, it doesn't have to do with import taxes, but I think in the case of Japan, it has. It's like the US. Basically, we have to pay VAT, and you have to pay import taxes, and you have to file things, and it's very annoying. If they had a portal like AliExpress that just deal with all the crap and pay the VAT directly there, I would be buying Soarar BB, even though I don't like Shimano, on a heartbeat. Moving on, I was talking about the Seasir. So this one seems to be a little bit heavier than the other one. 7+1 ball bearings, everything is sealed. 8+5 kilos of drag, so beefier reel. The system seems to be very similar. Let's see if I can see. So yeah, it's similar to the, what was the other one, the pink. It's like in Poland. Yeah, Poland should be the same as in Portugal. It's something that comes directly from EU agreements. So I think this is the same that I found, the pink one. So it's Kronos, the Kronos reel on Red Peak store. So it's sort of a similar system, and I heard good things about it, that it works. So 53 euros, not that much. If you're fishing for big predators, this seems to be a cool reel. Not like the Luxafi. For some reason, I have 3 pages of this reel. Talking about DC. What the hell happened? Let me check something, because I think I messed up something. I had some new things from Purelure, and I just need to check the... okay, so basically something I need to check. Basically in here we have the Purelure Cheetah, which is you think the Purelure Titanium X can cast weights under 1 grams? Yeah, I've thrown 0.6 grams with it, no problems. And I have the casting version. I would not recommend doing it unless you are on a very open area, or if you are using the spinning version. So for some reason I've copied all the same links. So basically this is the... and I also put, there's a coupon code running off of 4 euros off on 4 euros. Or it should be $5. It's until the 24th of this month. It's Purelure, all caps 005. I have it put down on the description with all the links for all the things. And this is the Cheetah Air. It has the 3 modes. I think it has master and wind. Oh, okay. So it has long distance, silent, so it turns the DC mode off, and close range, which I think it's like no brakes whatsoever, almost. So this is an updated version of the Cheetah DC, and now I have to go in here and just look for the things that I had to show you, but for some reason I've copied the links wrong, but basically they are on this store. So this is what I have. So let's put it everything back. So this is the other thing that I was so just updating the link so you don't lose the track of what I'm doing. Give me just a moment. I'm trying to update it on the video description also. Oh, I can only edit it on the end of the stream. So either way, these were the ones that I was talking about. So this is the Purelure Realme. There's for now only one model that I'm really looking into. It's the let's see, it's this one. In the table it's easier to read. So basically I just go in here and see tip diameter. So I like the 1.22 and the 1.10. The 1.10, it's the 66 foot or 198 meters. It's the Realme 662L MC and the Realme 652 LS. So these are the models that I'm looking into getting, which is this one. And as you can see, it also has that sort of mesh in here. It has a wood accent, looks pretty good. Weighs 77 grams, Toraica M4X, good, very good blank, SICK ring insertions on the Fuji guides. 1.8 to 8 grams, 2 pieces, line weight rating from 4 to 10 pounds. And let's see if we can find the other one. So this type of weight, it's already out of my realm. Then you usually start to lose a little bit of sensitivity. But I need to confirm this with Purelure, because as you can see in here, this one says 2.8 to 12 grams and this one says 1.8 to 8 grams. But if you go and look on the table, so when I'm going on the table, you see the spinning version, it's the one that says 1.22 millimeters, and the casting version is the one that says 1.10 millimeters. So I'm thinking it should be the other way around. I will try to clarify this with the guys from Purelure. But I'm interested in either one of them. Probably the spinning version, which I think it's the one that has a smaller tip. And I really want one spinning rod from Purelure, so I can really have, because even though I have the Sigama is not from Purelure, it's sold through them. And I have the Sigama in spinning version, the Sigama 2, but that's, I think, Lure Star rod. I really want to test. I was about to order the Acu Violet, and I still may buy it on the future, because one thing good about Purelure and doing reviews of Purelure stuff, it's that the rods tend to stick around, which brings more value for the review. So I'm not doing a review for an item like from Autotone or Teban or other cheap stuff that in some months or weeks just disappears from AliExpress. Also from Purelure we have the Silver Feather updated version, so the Miek or ETA Plus casting. I think it's a little bit lighter. Again, very fast reel, 8.5 to 1 gear ratio. It has 5 programs instead of, I think, 2, where you have master and beginner. So now you have, you have the master mode. So this is just to blast lures and almost no brakes. You have the universal mode, which, as the name says, I think it's for everyday use. Then you have the BFS. I think this is to take, I would say, the initial break, because if they can change the profile of the braking, if you take the resistance on the beginning of the cast, it's very, very useful for BFS. So if they can make it on a smart DC system, it will be very, very useful. And I remember you guys that I've cast 1.5 grams with a normal version. If they can pull this BFS mode, it will be pretty awesome. You have wind mode, which is the yellow, and you have the practice mode, which is brown. So also the side plate is different. So now you don't have levels, but you have 5 modes. So I think this looks like an improvement. So instead of having like you put everything on M and then you make a few casts or wait some time to change modes, and then you have the 1 to something to adjust the level inside of that level. Now you just have 5 programs and you use them. Long press to switch modes, long press, and it will cycle for the, yeah. Looks pretty awesome. And then you have the colors, just seems quite easy. So this one we cover. Leydun also has a I think the ABS system, it's the same one that is used by Lurstar. Very expensive. Even though I quite like Leydun, I don't know if I trust them to buy into buying almost 100 euros baitcaster, for intelligent baitcaster from them. The other thing I don't like, it's the knobs. Man, you cannot ask me 100 euros for a reel and put these skinny knobs on it. It doesn't fly with me. I want some proper EVA knobs at 100 euros. Man, I think the knobs on the less than 30 euros Seasir 0VX are better than these ones. These are good if you're giving me value at 30 euros. If I'm paying 100 euros, I don't like. So the braking system, I think it's the same on the Lurstar baitcaster. Again, I don't have it. 24 pulse signal. I believe it works. I saw the reviews of the Lurstar version, but not for this much money. I much rather have the Miak. And these knobs, man, it's no. New brand on AliExpress, at least that I saw this during my vacations. I was flipping through AliExpress, and another thing, look. You remember the handhouse rod? At least in Portugal, I didn't have the option to get it without paying like 10 or 15 euros in shipping. Now it's a choice item. Most of the things on handhouse are choice items. So if you want a very soft and noodly rod, this might be for you. But I'm talking about ZHANYING now. ZHANYING, again, like fishing fans, they have a lot of stuff. They have more stuff that I'm showing you for ultralight. So this is 2 rods casting and spinning on 2 small sizes, 1.5 and 168 meters. Quite cheap. I think this rod will stay on 34 euros. 1.2 millimeter tip, fast, allegedly. 69 grams. This one will go 68, 71 grams, but it looks cool. It has some nice colors. Supposedly, it has Fuji guides. I think it looks okay. So I'm quite intrigued with this brand. They have a reel that also intrigues me a lot. It's a Thunderhawk. I saw this on Red Peak store, but it costs like almost double the price. I think it's 38 euros, something like that, on Red Peak store. And usually on Red Peak store they only put the good stuff, and they seem like they care, at least to test the stuff that they have in there. So this has a cup style braking system like Daiwa, like MagForce Z. 4.5 kilos of drag, 149 grams, 5.2 to 1 gear ratio, which is quite slow. Which means that this reel realistically should be used for cranking, basically. Crankbaits, maybe jerkbaits, but like fishing with soft plastic with such a low reel can be a little bit tiresome, especially if you're not fishing very near you and you have to make quick retrieves to make a lot of casts. But they basically sell you ultralight, so deep and shallow spool. The all-purpose is a shallower spool, and the ultralight is a shallow spool. You can see the difference on weight. This one weighs 4 grams more and it will take more line. But you can get it with stainless steel bearings, hybrid ceramic bearings, and full ceramic bearings, which is quite nice, and it's under 27 euros, so quite a nice price. And the reel doesn't look that bad. And the reviews are also seem quite good. Again, it should be a little bit clanky, but it should work, on my experience on this type of reels. And it has better knobs than the one from Leydun, where they ask 100 euros. Also from ZHANYING, or ZHANYING, the Lingxi. So this is a wood handle rod. Again, I was talking with someone today about the wood handle rods. So the wood handles will make all rods weigh at least almost 90 grams. I bet you. Let's look in here. So 96 grams, 94 grams, 99 grams. And we are talking about fairly short rods. So 102 grams. Funny enough, casting, it's lighter than spinning. 1 millimeter top diameter, so that's good. And the rod actually looks quite nice. I think this rod is sold by different brands because I've seen it around. So, but this one says ZHANYING. I have a rod, and it's actually quite a cool rod by this brand. So I have to say, with my experience with them, it's good, and it looks quite nice with a wood handle. But man, don't get this to do like conventional fishing. If you are fishing on a canal, on a small stream, where you're just doing this, these ones are pretty good because they will keep the center of mass, or most of the center of mass, near your hand, so you will just be flicking your wrist to cast. If you are doing overhands and side casts, just get a normal rod with no wood, because then it just gets tiresome. So instead of ultralight fishing, you are doing ultralight fishing, but you have all the problems with medium light fishing with 100 gram rods. Now we move on to fishing fans, which also has a lot of stuff for ultralight. this, I think it's like the Orca rod, something like that. I think even the store it's called Orca. Basically, it's a 4-part with an extension, ultralight rod. It can do 148 in 168 centimeters, and you can get. Okay, you can have LS guides and Fuji guides. That's the difference between them. Very, very inexpensive, under 20 euros. Monocoque style bottom. Again, I think you have the if you get the Fuji guides, you get the weird colorful wrapping. But again, for this price you cannot ask too much. It will catch fish. I like the extension, especially for casting rods. On the spinning rods, I think if you don't put the extension, this first guide will usually stay too close to the reel itself, and it might give you some problems, especially depending on how the reel retrieves slack line, which you will have a little bit if you're fishing with light presentations. Also from Fishing Fans, and I have, I think, 2 rods from them. One of them, it's a 59 gram rod or 49 gram rod with titanium guides, which was quite inexpensive. I think it cost me under 50 euros. But this is the Rancy 3.0. It's they have, I think it will go into medium light, but this is the 2 to 12 grams. It's the only one that has any sort of interest, but pretty solid quality blanks on this rod. So T1100S and M4X, it's just like some of the best grade carbon material that you can get, and the M40X, it's sort of there to give it a little bit of a give. So you have the hardiness from the T1100S, and then you just give a little bit of a springiness from the ME40X, and it will go until 250 centimeters almost with 10 to 35 grams, which I don't care. I really don't care. This one I would care a little bit, and the ergonomics are quite good on these rods from Fishing Fans. So our favorite manufacturers of stupid logos and DC reels that will bird nests more than conventional reels. Luxafi. So this is sold by Red Peak Tackle and Outdoor Store. So I'm expecting this reel to come out at 50 or 60 euros from another stores, because this has the Red Peak Tackle and Outdoor Store tags on it. Again, the stupid cat doing this, or even worse, this, so it's not even touching the fingers. The Luxafi cat with the sad fish. I think in this version of the logo, the fish is crying. I think there's a tear over there underneath the eye. But either way, this one looks a little bit better than the one that I have, but still 96 euros for this. 9 kilos of drag, 190 grams. It's not even... so this one has a shallow spool, that's why I'm featuring this on the video. Just a buyer's beware, don't get this. And even worse, it has Bluetooth, which means that you will have a lady. The Bluetooth device has been connected successfully, blasting out of, I don't know, but it would be fun. It would be it will be better than. So they even have an upgrade version, which I think it's carbon fiber handle. But either way, they say it will cast 1.5 grams, which I have no doubt that will cast. The only thing that I have doubt is if you have usable line afterwards. if you are not bird's nest into oblivion like I did. So just beware, the GTDC, it's from this brand. Not a good impression. So Takuma also has a DC, bro. Man, the DC wars, and not with Batman and Joker, just digital controlled baitcasters from China. So this is the P1 DC. I have no idea which type of braking system this is. I don't know if it's EBS, if it's the one that you see on the one from Seasir, the one from Anatono. There are a lot of them that are just very, very similar, and I think they just are all manufactured, at least the braking system, on the same place. But this one, I laughed so much when I saw it. This is the Reese. Wait, went away. The Takuma Reese. Imagine saying to a guy that has like a $500 Shimano, or I think that the Daiwa, it's even more expensive because they don't have a lot of DC reels. I think the Daiwa one, it's like 1,000 euros, and you have, yeah, but mine is the Reese braking system. It's full of Reese, and it's, man, it's just funny. Or telling that to your kid. So if you're my age or older, and you have a kid that spends most of the time looking on a tablet and laughing at stupid stuff, they know what is Reese, and they're probably laughing their ass off. So they have the Reese system of braking, and so I will not try to say the name of this person because I don't know the Greek alphabet. My love from Greece, brother. Thank you to be so useful. I get Tegman based on your review, and is indeed amazing. I only wish sometimes Chinese brands to focus also on shore fishing. So if you like shore fishing, I cannot remember the name of the brand. I review one rod from them, one ultralight rod, Noebi. For shore fishing, just look up Noebi. They are very, very good on that things. Noebi, and I think it's the only one that I know. I don't care for shore fishing, or in this case shore jigging. Sorry. But look up Noebi. I think they have a lot of jigging rods. I think they also have jigging reels. So if you want to look them up, I think it's the only one that has like a full catalog of that stuff. But again, the P1 DC, if these are LEDs, it's quite an upgrade. Let's check in here. So again, with Takuma, everything is in Chinese. They claim 5 to 20 grams. 6 plus of cast ability, 6 plus 1 ball bearing, 7.3 to 1 gear ratio, 5 kilos of drag, 185 grams of total weight. Let's see the Reese system. Yeah, they seem to have LED, so for what you're paying, it seems to have a lot of features, and the reel actually looks nice. So one option, if you're a bass or zander or pike fisherman, you can get the P1 DC, quite inexpensive, and it has Reese. Also from Takuma, I don't remember if I ever featured this reel. This is the P1 Plus Enhanced version. Why did I feature it? Because it's an early bird, 40 euros, and you can get it, and it has 9 plus 1 ball bearings, 5 kilos, 7.1 to 3 gear ratio, 167 grams. It will cast from 1.5 to 7 grams, 10 gears. And look at this fine shallow spool reel. Yeah, this shallow spool. They also have a deeper spool, but again, I don't care about it. And the double spool version costs the same, so quite good value. Takuma who? I don't know. So this is older reel, but they give it some life with shallower spool. Either way, I'm quite a fan of Takuma. I think if you saw my previous videos, the Leydun had some sort of Uzu Pro that is very similar to this one, but basically I hope that this appears cheaper at some point, because it's very intriguing and I quite like a solution like this to take with me on a plane. Because look, this is basically a box with a rod inside, and you see you have the hard case, lure box, hooks, and soft plastics, the rod itself. It has an extension on the handle that I think you can put in here, so you can go with almost no grip to a full grip, where you can put both hands behind your cast. So if you're saltwater fishing, you might need it. So 25 centimeter storage, it will fit on your Ryanair backpack. Casting, spinning, they also offer different colors, and I think they offer, let me check if I remember, yeah, I remember correctly, they even offer more complete packs. So this is the Cayden Elves, if I can remember correctly. Oops, let me check. Yeah, and they offer you a titanium tip. So it has a normal tip and no, it's not a normal tip. They offer you, yeah, it features a titanium tip. So at 56 euros, even without the reel, it's sort of a cool value. But this one, it's 89 euros, and you get the rod with a titanium tip, the reel, and you get a foldable net. So you get the full travel on Ryanair backpack, put everything there experience. Yes, it's the Cayden Elves. I quite like this reel. Mine is similar to this one, and it has the shallow spool. Again, look at all the things that you get, but this one it's a lot more expensive. And I don't know why, because the only difference it's the color and the option to have the two spools. So the spool costs 30 something euros, very, very expensive spool. And I think you can get the spools separately. So you can get this one and you can get the spool for 10 euros somewhere else. Again, very expensive shallow spool. And that's it. I had the idea that I saw somewhere that they also offer the kit with a spinning version. So I still don't know what's the difference with. Okay, this is the grip. So left grip. In this case, this is. Okay. They offer the spinning version, but it's only with the green, and it's 89 euros. So 89 euros, you get reel, you get the rod, you get the hard case, and you get a cool portable foldable landing net. So if you are going somewhere to fish for trout, this is pretty cool. I have to admit, it's a bit pricey. I would love to see it like less expensive, like if it was everything like this kit with shallow spool. If it was like 75 euros, it would be pretty awesome. Also Zukibo released, let me see if I can, Let's not show you that. Let me see if I can find the pictures. Zukibo sent me some. They have some new lines, so I couldn't find them on AliExpress because I think they are maybe not available in Portugal. But they released 3 more lines. So this is I think 8PE with coating. A lot of protections by the black label. I think it will be pretty good. The new weaving technique, 8 braid fibers, 36 weaves per inch. I think this is like braided line. So instead of just being intertwined, they will be intertwined and interlocked. I don't have links to this because I cannot find the products on AliExpress, not even with image search. And this is a unifilament line. I think this is a high resistance monofilament. Again, as soon as I can find them, I will probably ordering because I'm a sucker for Zukibo right now. I quite like the products that they offer. And I also have something in here from Zukibo. They just released new soft plastics. It's a shrimp. It should work pretty well for like Ned rig. By the way, the bottom it's here. Ned rigging. And they have floating and sinking 6 centimeters, but remember this is 6 centimeters with the mustache, so not that big. I like these appendices. They should work pretty well underwater, and you have plenty of the best colors to choose from, and they are made from PVC. They should be pretty good in terms of resistance. And Letoyo, let's go up. For some reason, this appeared to me like 1 week ago. Letoyo is selling ball bearings and 3 sizes. These are like very common sizes, especially if you come in here. Very good information on these ball bearings, I have to tell. I buy ball bearings a lot to upgrade baitcasters. In here they have like the things from Daiwa, the Stees, the Zillium, the Alphas, the Tatula. So I've bought some. You have the Salamandura, you have from Shimano, Antares Alabaran, Metanium, Calcutta Conquest, Phantom, SLX, Curado, Accent, Scorpio, MGL. So basically these reels are used on all of them. They are also using some of the Chinese reels, but what is awesome is that they have the ceramic ones, which scream a lot, but they have the, I think, zirconi Silis PTFE covered versions. So this is basically the top that you can get for as ball bearings go for baitcasters. So the black ones. And I can tell you that I've been trying to source some, and even though this is an early bird deal, if you are into the market of buying this type of bearings for your baitcaster, just get them because they usually cost 10 euros more. And with that said, it's all the things that I have with interest found as new stuff on AliExpress. So if you have any questions, I'll be open to them on the chat. Let's hope 11.11 it's good because, and let's hope the all the brands just post all the stuff that they have to release before the 11/11. I will not have time, or even I would say, unless they work with good reviewers, it will be very stressful. The Zukibo shrimp for with jig head on salt water. It really depends what you're doing. For saltwater, I would go with the sinking. If I was going on freshwater, I would go with the floating and do sort of an Ned rig or do Carolina rig with it, or even the conventional chab, so it will just stay up. I don't know if Tucunoares would eat it, but I think probably would scoop it from the bottom. I would not bother with floating anything for saltwater. Not that I'm a huge saltwater expert on in any way, but most of the other than sea bass that you can get near the rocks with like top water, I think if the presentation just stays put laying on its side, it's way better than flicking, because you have usually you will be fishing a lot deeper than on freshwater. Man, it's still so hot in Portugal for this time of the year. I know it's raining, and the raining is coming too late because it should be raining sooner, so I would be able to fish for largemouth bass for even longer. I think if it rained like 3 or 4 weeks ago a lot and just filled up the dams and the rivers, I would be able to fish largemouth bass until, I would not say Christmas, but almost. Because if the rain is too cold, it might kill the bite on bass. And chub fishing here is just awful, especially in the morning. I think that's all. No one has more questions. I will do a tier list video with all the things that I've tested, even if the video is not released. I will release it before. I think, like, I want to do like rods, reels, and if I have the time, I will do lines. But I feel that there are so much better channels testing lines. My thing with lines is that I go through so much reels, and the reels that I like, I tend to spool them again very quickly. That I really want the line lab, or the guy that really goes thoroughly with line testing. Um, I think the only thing that is lacking, and it's not his fault because it's very annoying, like I do. Like my favorite reel, it's, I will not say by far, but it's the Takuma Linkshi. Problem is that the only people that contact me with problems with the Tagman was one person, and it was with a spool shaft. And I know that the spool shaft is too thin. That's why I always tell to just get the C2000S, and it's like a precision reel, at least for the price. And I had like two, three. people reach me with problems with not reach me, I reach them after I know that they got the link sheet, and that puts me a little bit off. So I don't have the ability to buy in bulk a lot of them and on different stores and probably from different batches. But yeah, the my problem with line is that like the Leydun microfly, when the line works, I would say it performs slightly better than the Zukibo fake, but the Zukibo fake I run through between the white and brown. I've had like at least 10 different spools. The purple line that I use from Zukibo, I'm on my 5th spool. All of them have been consistent. I had problems with, so one of the lines that I've got from Mifine, the Devil's Wire, was okay. The thinner one that I've got was horrid. And I know people that bought the Mifine line and they swear that it's okay. It's like the microfire. I have 0.4p braid on the Tagman that I'm selling to a friend tomorrow because he really liked the reel. And even though I really like the reel, I think it's on better hands with someone that will be keep using it and give me feedback on the longevity of the reel. That is something that I will, when I do the tier list before the 11.11, I will touch upon. I usually sell everything to people that I know. That's why I don't sell a lot of stuff that I've been using on the review videos. And I kept in touch with most of the things that I've sold, and I know how they are. So this will give some updates on the things that I've used. So I have a Beer King reel that just fell apart and it was on my hands. That will be considered on the video. So that type of stuff, and I will give you updates on some things that can be looking good on first impressions or can look bad, like the Sambo 117 year. After I've put the rubber band on the spool tension knob, it's still being used and it's still working great. So swings and roundabouts. But yeah, I'm now fully focusing on that. I think later or tomorrow I will release a members only video of me on my last session. Not because I hate everyone else, it's just because it's a public spot in Portugal and I know I don't have any public or any Portuguese membership, and I think someone that will be willing to pay 99 cents for a membership will not be a moron that will be just wrecking the spot. So I'll be dropping that tomorrow, and then it will be the same schedule as usual, one review per week, unboxing, and in water testing I still have some on my back pocket, and just starting preparing the 11.11 videos, because I will do the tier list. Again, I cannot promise the line tier list, I will just do rods and reels, because that's the type of guy that I will do. I will see a trend, not bother, and when the trend dies, I will do it. So expect a tier list 2 years after they are like relevant. But either way, I think the tier list will be good. I will. That's another thing that I will try to do. I will try to keep the tier list updated on my website. I quit the idea of having a review website. It's too much trouble, and I will just try to do like 6 pages with tier lists, and like an encyclopedia of everything that I've reviewed by brand or by price, and try to do it and manage the website that way, because it's easier to navigate than YouTube right now. The search on YouTube, it's a little bit iffy right now. And man, I think that's it. So no more questions. I think I will terminate the live, take a bath, and go to bed with AC on the 19th of October. And tomorrow, which will be in 3 minutes in Portugal, I will be resume working. So no more vacations. The life of a rat. Again, if you like the live, leave a like on the video or just say something on the comments. If you have any doubt, again, leave a comment. I will try to feature it on next lives. And man, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Actually, if you're not subscribed, you're not looking into this. It's I don't have naked ladies in here for now. Man, I will see you guys on my next video before this gets even weirder. If I can find my mouse. Oh man, the mouse is dead. This is getting awkward.